Yes, thank you very much. Once again, a very good afternoon. Sankara Verhanga, I am back. This is now day 5. Guess you're able to see here. We are talking about the International Youth Day 2021 celebrations, and this is the D-Day. This is the real day. Every 12th of August, annually, we celebrate the existence of youth, and we acknowledge or advise on what they can be able to achieve. Now, today is a very, very interesting session. You do not have to miss. Right here with me is a lady that you're about to know. Then later at exactly 2:35, we will be welcoming in Professor Aliho Alex, who is the director of Agri. Well, I'm talking about Excel Hot Consult Agribusiness Center. Then later we will have a Zoom session that has different panelists that I will be telling you. We have a representative from the U.S. Embassy. She will be joining us on the live Zoom later today at 3 p.m. So you don't have to go away. You are welcome, madam. You could say hi to our viewers.
Hello to you all.
Wow. Well, you could also perhaps introduce yourself so that our dear viewers could at least get to know us. You're going to forgive us for that a little glitch, but the technical team is handling it. Yes, let's go ahead.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and most importantly, happy International Youth Day to all the youth in Uganda and across the world.
Yes.
I'm Praise Akampura. I work with Youth Fraternity for Change. It's a woman-led, youth-led organization, and we are here in Bara. We are also here to celebrate with you people.
Youth fraternity, at least we are interested in the word youth. It means you have something to do with youth, like you just said, but majorly with women. Now, this year the theme is transforming food systems, and the focus is on how youths can innovate to make sure they build safe, healthy lines of both human and planet. We are talking about at least safe or nutrition, I could say, and also climate smart solutions that intend to transform food systems. What is the situation like, and why is youth fraternity concerned anyway?
First of all, our involvement in agriculture is not so direct.
Yes.
Maybe in the future we'll venture in it directly, but at the moment we are into other programs, but as of now it's like the economic empowerment that we do. We support whoever is into, like our beneficiaries, whoever is into agriculture, we are ready to support. Yeah, so that is how we actually get to know about the food systems. And this is shocking, but actually most people don't even know what food systems are. They don't even know if food systems even exist. Like it's not part of people. Like me too. Like I can say 2 months ago, I didn't know what food systems are.
Wow.
Yeah, I was into agriculture. I'm interested in agriculture, but I didn't know food systems. And yet, food systems are so important.
Yes.
As much as the stock market or any other thing that contributes to the world's economy. So for food systems, right now in Uganda, actually our food systems are not nice at all. They are not good. Our food systems are broken. Because if we still have hunger and people are suffering from obesity,
yes,
then are our food systems helping us, or
and we're still using charcoal as energy to prepare this food.
Yeah, emitting the greenhouse gases. So clearly, because you see, like right now in Uganda, as of last year, because I've seen a report from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations.
Yes.
That in Uganda right now, 21.4% lack access to nutritious food.
Oh, they are suffering.
Yes.
We have families that literally cannot find food.
Yeah, and globally, it's 25%. That's like 1.9 billion people that have no access to nutritious and healthy food. What does that tell us? And yet, remember, food systems are intertwined and interlinked with other systems, like the climate system, the energy system, the health system. So if the food systems are not doing well, that means the other systems are not doing well.
Well, and that is where you pick interest. Like you sounded, you deal with more with women and youth. What is your, of late, what's your flagship interest in youths? Could it be young girls? I don't know. What is it? What's the focus like of late?
We are into young girls and girls and young women. So it's solely like the adolescents and then young women.
Are there issues you're concerned with that group?
Yeah. We are into ending child marriage. And violence against women and girls. Yeah. So when we feed them with information, enable them with skills and all that knowledge, and then at the end of the day, yes, we give them knowledge, but we have to, at least create sustainability. So that is where the agriculture, like empowering them economically. So if our beneficiaries want to engage in agriculture, we'll definitely, as in, it is what they want that matters, not what we think they want. So our concern is youth, especially girls, because as you already know, marginalized girls are marginalized. Like, first of all, they're discriminated, and if we are linking it to the food systems, if food systems are to transform, I'm sure
because if you look at an example, for example, you might be thinking, okay, what is food systems? I mean, does it have anything to do with early childhood marriages? But if you to look at community like my own Chitagwenda, where, like I told you, at least a bigger percentage of what you see are banana plantations, but the wine processing species, where a woman actually spends, a woman and girls and children of the home spend almost all the year in there, making sure they are the ones anyway in plantation. But this is not edible, it's not food, it's a wine species. At the end of the day, this man is going to, he's the one to harvest and then make wine, take it, sell it by himself, and then it results into gender-based violence, then poverty, and at the end of the day, this young girl, 13, please get married because we need money. And you realize now, indirectly, food systems are coming to affect this whole situation. I hope that's what you're trying to mean.
Yeah. Because food systems are influenced by social, environmental, political, and economic dimensions. I mean, if all the four can affect the food system in that way, that means also the food system can affect the environment socially, economically, in the environment, and also politically. Because even you see with with whoever is well versed with the food systems, there's the UN Food System Summit. Like they usually, it's usually there always, like every year. So and lately they need, like the objective is for us, like the global population, to understand the structures, the drivers, like everything in the food system, because it's not just food, as in like going to the garden and planting and harvesting and taking to the market. No, it has to do with now the taxes, the political structures, and it's big, it's vast, like it's diverse,
We are living in a country where they say agriculture is our backbone. So it means if we are poor, then agriculture is actually trying not to add much. We are perhaps only surviving because we get food. But if we transform this, she says, poverty alleviation, then we'll make sure our families are safe. Because if they're not poor, perhaps these girl children are going to go to school and study, have some good life, and they're not going to get married at the young age. Unfortunately, we only have around a minute remaining. I don't know if you have some particular advice you have for young people on this particular day, generally as youths.
Yeah, all I have to say is, as the UN summit with the food systems, their intention is for us to understand the food systems, like from down, like the nitty-gritty.
Yes.
So all I have to say is we just need to change perspective. You will look at agriculture and you think it's just, being in the mud and all that, but it's much more than that.
Change the perception that I can actually earn smart from agriculture.
Not even earning, but how empowering is it if you owned a vast, let's say, maybe a vineyard.
Yes.
Okay. No. That is into more like, let's say a plantation. Like it is you that is feeding like hundreds and hundreds of people in Uganda. How empowering is that? Minus the money. Yeah. So we just have to change perspective and look at agriculture like any other form of occupation.
Okay, very, very wonderful insights from there with rhetoric questions that you may need to answer while you are seated alone there. Maybe before we check, you could share the location of Youth Fraternity and a little bit of what you do and what young people can look you for.
Youth Fraternity for Change is at the moment we are along Vananuka Drive.
Yes.
Towards a building on the, I guess, the last floor up, the third floor, and we are always open from 9 to 5, and we welcome anyone, especially youth and especially young women and girls. Yeah, because we want to transform lives and the power relations, we want to empower girls to be as valued in society like the men are and the boys. Yeah.
You just heard it. If you're young out there, this is Youth Fraternity, and she says you could reach them out. They are located here in the same building where Empower Youth in Technology is where you're going to find these young people empowering organization that you're able to join. Now, in a few minutes from now, we will be calling Professor Alex Aliho, who is the director of Excel Hot Consult Agribusiness Incubator that is found here in Barara along Biharwe. It is between Biharwe and Koranoria. Professor Alex is a renowned, agribusiness expert, but also is well versed with managing agribusiness programs across Africa within 54 nations. I understand he has an office in Ghana, so he is a very, very resourceful gentleman that you need to listen to. We are going to go for a short break. When we return, we have him on the call.
You're watching EYIT TV, empowering you. You're watching EYIT TV, empowering you.
Do you have Uganda at heart? How about buying products made in Uganda by Ugandans from a Ugandan online shop anywhere, anytime?
Introducing GuzaUG.com, a one-stop center for Uganda's locally made products. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
I am Uganda.
Yes, welcome from that short break, and in a few minutes we will be joined by the Professor Alex Aliho. We are trying to reach him. Prof. Yes, Prof.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Good Good afternoon to you, the team. How are you?
We are good. You're live on EYIT TV.
Yes.
We are celebrating the Youth Day, the International Youth Day 2021, as you may be aware.
Yes, please.
And under the theme, transforming food systems, but the focus is on how youths can innovate for both humanity and planetary health.
Yes.
Prof, if you don't mind, we could begin with breaking this theme down for any viewer in regards to the expert guidance and how experts anyway interpret this for the global gain.
Yeah, thanks so much. Once again, Empower Youth in Technology for organizing this and being part of the global celebrations for the youth internationally. Once again, I'm Professor Alex Alio, the Chief Executive Officer of EYIT, the African Agribusiness Network, and the Director General of Excel Hot Consult, Agribusiness Incubator in Uganda. I take this one an opportunity to join the rest of the world and to join the youth in Uganda and in Africa and globally to celebrate an International Youth Day, which is a day that is basically looking at recognition, appreciation of the youth's contribution towards the socio-economic transformation of society, both at national, regional, and international level. This year's theme, focusing on food systems and innovations, is a very critical cause, not only for youth in Uganda, not only for the youth in Africa, but for the youth globally, because we take food as the key driver for economic transformation. And here, the theme of this year, talking about a food system, the key question is, what does good food mean to you all that are listening? To have a healthy society, to drive the economic agenda, we must have the food that is produced in a healthy environment. We must have the food that can be accessed at affordable price, the food that is going to leave the society without being compromised. Therefore, the theme of this year, looking at innovations that will support the transformation of making sure that the food is accessed and the food is affordable and the food is accessed in the quantities and volumes that keep a human being healthy is very fundamental. So I want to add the voice of Excel Hot Consult and the voice of the African Agribusiness Incubators Network to celebrate this day by appreciating the role and the contribution of the youth in contributing to this economic transformation.
Wow.
First of all, we need to appreciate that the contribution of the youth, when we talk of the youth, we mean the active age bracket of those that are running from year 1 up to 35 years according to the African Union agenda. But at the same time, we need to know that the youth are coming from different sorts of life. We are talking of the youth that are in urban areas, the youth that are in rural areas, the youth that were not even able to go to school, and the youth that have been able to go to school. If you combine the four, they have been able to make a fundamental contribution, given their energy, their resources, and at the same time, their willingness to offer their contribution or support to see the society develop and society change. However, as we celebrate the International Youth Day, there are fundamental challenges that the youth in Africa are still facing, including Uganda. And one of the challenges is lack of appropriate, decent jobs, limited opportunity for employment, and subsequently poverty. So it is important that as we celebrate, we look at what is it that we can do to make sure that the youth in Africa, the youth in Uganda, and the youth globally do not continue to be faced or to face the challenge of unemployment and particularly decent jobs and decent employment. So what needs to be done and where are these opportunities that can help the youth overcome this? I am happy that Empower Youth in Technology,
Yes.
in cooperation with Excel Hot Consult, has been contributing and organizing the youth to be able to organize themselves to confront this challenge. And if we can get youth that are doing more or less the same, we should be able to make the three challenges that I mentioned, history in Africa and Uganda and the whole world. But the opportunities that are now available for the youth, which we are working on together, which I think today should be an opportunity to create awareness of these opportunities for the youth in Africa to take these opportunities forward. And one of the opportunities I can talk about is the potential of agrobusiness, the potential of digital solutions. It is important that we, even right now, we are using technology to connect, make contributions, to do e-marketing, to do e-trade, and to do e-skilling. And we are doing that because we are in the digital era. But this is an advantage that the youth should be able to take advantage of. Agriculture offers a great potential in terms of production, supply chain management, logistics, and value addition. So the youth can take advantage, as we commemorate this day, to make sure that they take advantage of running different businesses within agricultural space. But at the same time, the youth should be able to take advantage of what you call the global markets. Today, Africa, we're enjoying what we call the free trade area, but the free trade area requires us to be able to connect, link with regional markets, link with international markets. But we can only do this if the youth are prepared to produce quality products and services, if the youth are prepared and positioned to access financial services that can enable them to run sustained enterprises that can produce what we call the global products or products that can compete globally. So to create this competitive environment requires policy support, requires a policy environment that should allow the youth to trade, to innovate, and at the same time to explore the opportunities beyond within their reach, taking advantage of what we call the global world. We are now living in an era of connectivity. The youth are able to use the social media, they're able to use digital tools to connect with the rest of the world. So today, as we celebrate the International Youth Day, it is important that we continue to help nurture, mentor, and support the youth to take advantage of the opportunities that I've talked about. Again, today, I'm happy to say that I'm very excited to be part of this because Uganda as a country, we were able to take advantage of sports and culture. And we are well aware that Uganda got medals from the Olympics.
Yes.
This is not something to take it for granted. You agree with me that sports and culture is one of the ways that we can appreciate our value, our contribution, and at the same time transport society. So transforming society requires us to look at society with a different eye and using different lenses. And I'm happy that Empower Youth in Technology in collaboration with Excel Hot Consult, are creating the opportunities and taking advantage by running programs like skill and talent mapping. So you notice that a lot of youth across the world, in Africa and beyond, Uganda, that are talented. But that kind of talent, if it is not nurtured, if they are not supported to showcase their skill, we may not get more mentors that we saw coming to Uganda. So it is important that as we celebrate today, we need to do what we call skill and talent mapping. The importance of skill and talent mapping is to understand how do we live with each other. And I'm happy that through the incubation program that is being implemented by Excel Hot Consult, together with Power Youth in Technology, other stakeholders, they are really helping to map out what the youth can do and nurture those businesses using business incubation. The component of skilling is fundamental, and that can as well make a strong contribution, because we need to skill people, empower them with knowledge and competencies along the key enterprises and businesses that they are running. So the celebrations that we are talking about globally, and when they talk about food system and
Yes.
talk about innovation,
Yes.
it is a connection of making sure that we can run sustainable businesses in food supply and we can develop innovations, science and technology, making sure that the science that we are getting from institutions of academics or institutions of research and academia is able to add value by bringing food on the table. So the science that does not bring food on the table, the science that does not bring money in the pockets of the youth, remains redundant science. So our call today is that the institutions of higher learning, the technical colleges, the vocational institutions must work closely with the youth and other stakeholders to make sure that what is being produced, what is being innovated, is speaking to the demands of the youth today and the youth tomorrow. This is something you cannot do alone, and I'm happy to say that from the African Union perspective, the African Union Agenda 2063, the Africa Culture Comprehensive Development Program, the National National Development Plan for Uganda, if you look at the Agro-Industrialization Strategy, the Skilling Strategy for Uganda, all these policy instruments provide opportunities for the youth to take advantage of. And that means we can only achieve that if we are able to harness the potential that lies within what we call sustainable partnerships and collaboration. Working in isolation will not help the youth to transform from one stage to another. I encourage the youth in Uganda, I encourage the partners, I encourage everybody listening to make sure that we leverage each other by working together, taking advantage of each other's skill, advantage of each other's exposure, advantage of the kind of enabling environment that has been created as a result of political stability, but at the same time take advantage of what we call the free trade area in Africa, but also look at the global connectivity, where we are talking about living in a global village. But living in a global village is not something we should look at or even in terms of only using the buzzword, but we must be practical. So I want once again to thank everybody and say that this is something we must do together, and let this one not be the end in terms of celebration, but the beginning of the beginning in terms of creating the change that we wish to see for now and tomorrow. I thank you.
Very, very insightful, Prof, over there, teaching practicability among youths. Maybe a quick one. You could use, I don't know how many minutes, but can youth really innovate and transform systems especially if you're to localize now to within Mbarara, the youths you've interacted with, are there opportunities around Mbarara that youths could exploit and are going to transform food systems? But still, if there was a way anyway, youths still tend to think agriculture is very, very much ugly. It's not sexy at all. I am not really going to join that digging. In those opportunities you are about to share with us, or ways how youths could actually innovate to transform food systems, are there smarter ways? Clean, we need clean money. Is there clean money in agriculture?
Yeah, thanks so much. First of all, say that yes, there is clean money in agriculture, like any other sector. First of all, we need to first appreciate that agriculture is a business like any other business. So we need to know that it faces challenges like any other sector. First of all, first appreciate the current pandemic situation we are in. Most businesses, including air transport, had a challenge. If people saw that agriculture where there are challenges, this time around, you note that it cuts across. Banks have challenges, the air transport challenges, hotels, tourism is strongly hit, and therefore, first of all, there are opportunities in agriculture space like any other sector. However, when it comes to agriculture, I would say that it's not until now that probably across the world everybody appreciates that actual agriculture is the only stable business that you can invest in. Airlines were closed, all transport facilities closed, but we did not close agriculture, we did not close eating, and therefore, long as that we don't stop eating, any sustainable business definitely lack in the space. Nowhere else, because you can stop all others, but you can agree with me that globally the movement of food supply chain continues to move, and therefore the opportunity that the youth can take, for example, is looking at the supply chain and the delivery of food door to door.
Okay.
The management of food systems, quality assurance. How do we make sure that their standards, the middle income are invested in what called traceability or understanding of what they're eating? And you can only do that when you are engaging the youth that can use ICT solutions. They can develop apps that can track the movement of food from one area to another. So the youth can take advantage of that. A case in point, look at Mbarara now is one of the new cities in Uganda. How are the youth, for example, preparing to take advantage of permaculture? You know that there is increased population and land is becoming scarce every day. But the question not be a challenge to the youth. The youth should be looking at hydroponics technologies, for example, soilless agriculture. The youth should be looking at low farming, producing food to feed the cities. And you can do that with less land. You can be engaged in the produce from rural area, the urban areas. You don't need to do primary production in order to take advantage of the agricultural space. I want to mention this to the youth that are listening. If you think of a businessman like the owner of Uber,
yes,
Uber is now ranked as one of the international third international business transport companies globally. But Uber himself does not own a car. Who tells you that for the youth to invest in agriculture, they must own land? The youth may not need land. They need opportunities of where to get the skill. They need opportunities to access affordable finance. They need opportunity to open market for them. They need opportunities to access affordable technology like the one we are using now to talk to the rest of the world. Once you are able to provide that, the youth are able to run, sustain, operate, and expand and accelerate their businesses. And once they do that, definitely employment, job creation, poverty eradication is guaranteed. There is no doubt. It takes time, but there is no easy business. So let's not tell the youth and say, look, go for easy things. There are no easy things. All businesses have got constraints, but manageable constraints. And I think today, as we celebrate, assure the youth and guarantee the ecosystem support,
Yes.
that can allow them to run sustainable businesses, and with that, we should be able to know that the youth are able to continue to be part of the economic transformation, to be part of the economic agenda, and the global changes that we are looking at, including the Uganda transformation and looking at Vision 2040 for the country. Definitely the youth makes a fundamental contribution. And to me, the government should take this as a priority in terms of creating an able environment for the youth in Uganda, for the youth in Africa, and definitely for the youth in the rest of globally to be able to connect. And to me, all these objects around access to information and knowledge sharing, and which I think I'm happy that Empower Youth in Technology is doing by creating that community of the youth to continue interacting and sharing information. And for those in Uganda, I invite you to join a program what we call the Match and Mix at Excel Hot Consult, because
Yes.
this is where you meet. This is where the youth will take advantage of meeting their colleagues and interacting freely to be able to even get access to technologies and experts that can run their business. Let's continue. Let this one be an engagement for only the celebration of the youth, but let's continue to engage. Let's continue to share and support one another moving forward. And with that, I think we should be able to make affordable contribution and continue to celebrating success of the youth in Uganda, in Africa, the rest of the world.
Wow, Prof, thank you very much. That is a very, very, again, insightful comment over there. And we thank you very much for creating some time for young people. We learned a lot previously at Excel, including concepts of hydroponics, all those concepts, compound, farming, garden, all these concepts, very much wonderful, and I think open to youths. I do not know if there are if there's some program coming up so soon, also open for youths back at Excel. And then also if you could draw your conclusion remarks, maybe a simple advice, final one to the youths as we proceed to the team that is on Zoom. Thank you very much.
How to tell the difference between real or fake honey.
Get natural honey only from our Pure Bees Products Limited, leaders in bee farming, bee consultancy, bee hives, standard honey extraction equipment, bee products value addition, and fumigation.
Find us in Badara City, in Tare Road, opposite Stanbic Bank, or call us on 0784-278172 or 0709-844134. You can also buy our honey from www.guzaug.com.
Do you have Uganda at heart? How about buying products made in Uganda by Ugandans from a Ugandan online shop anywhere, anytime?
Introducing GuzaUG.com, a one-stop center for Uganda's locally made products. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
Yes, thank you very much. You are still watching EYIT TV. At this very moment, well, you just watched Alex, the prof, giving us a few insights on what youths actually can do to transform food systems, just like the way it is Now, the one you see on your screen, that is Ndugu Alexander Chokwishka. He will be modulating today's session. Remember, this is the D-Day of the International Youth Day. We have a few but very, very key panelists that will be joining, and we want to go beyond this. Let's go and connect with the team on Zoom. Please don't go away. Okay, we will be, well, we are still at least trying to sort that, at least a technical glitch, but you need to be informed that one of the speakers we have is Basil Mota Bidemu. If you know this gentleman, he was a good president at Makerere. That's when I got to know him. But he is the founder of Agriduka, a very wonderful platform. You didn't have to miss this gentleman. Another panelist we have is Sandra Nabasire. Sandra Nabasire is a passionate teacher and a passionate farmer. She usually calls or goes by slang sexy from head to my toes. You need to keep around and watch him and watch her around. We will also have a speaker who is the president or chairperson, a passionate author and technology consultant. I'm talking about Ndugu Muhumza F. King. You will be also joining him over there. Like I told you, we will be joined by, and we will receive a keynote speech from Madam or Miss Ame Peterson, who is the Cultural Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy, Kampala. She will be giving a keynote speech right about now. We also, like I told you, the session will be moderated by Ndugu Alexander Chokwishka, who is a consultant and a business leader as well as trainer in that field. He is very, 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 informed. Now, in case you just joined us and you don't know what we are about, today is the International Youth Day 2021 that we are celebrating. This is Empower Youth in Technology. We are in partnership with YALI, that's Young Africa Leaders Initiative, and we are talking about the Regional Leadership Center East Africa, but we are looking at the Uganda chapter. That's the team we are partnering with to make sure we celebrate today. The theme, again, I have to remind you that it is transforming food systems, and the focus is on youths, how they can innovate for human and planetary health. We will be getting to know more. I think we need to be connecting to the Zoom people right about now. Modulated by Ndugu Alexander Chokwishka. Please you don't have to go away. These are going to be some meaningful insights from these panelists. Please join and please don't go away.
And it is something that we cannot take for granted. The International Youth Day is celebrated every year on 12th of August to celebrate and showcase young people and the great work that they do out there in communities, training communities. And in most cases, young people around the world usually partner with governments and other institutions to really appreciate a number of things being done. And the theme for this year is a more interesting one, transforming food systems. And we have so many young people out there doing a lot of great things, and we cannot take it for granted. We thank them, and we shall be able to keep, profiling and, letting the world know what they do and all that. I want to welcome us to this session and also to mention that we shall have a number of presentations. And like I said much earlier, my name is Alexander Chokwishka. I am so many things, but most importantly, I am a humble citizen from Chigarama. I'm also the immediate former chairperson for the Young African Leaders Initiative Alumni Chapter of Uganda. And I went to the center in 2017. I'm cohort 18, for those who may not have known me. Today, we are definitely going to look at the theme, transforming food systems, youth innovations, and human and planetary health. We want to look at this theme in relation to Uganda, but most importantly in relation to what some of the young people are doing, especially those who are part of the YALI RLC alumni, network. We want to see what is it that they are doing that is, contributing towards the food security and food systems. How can we transform them? How can we, showcase our talent, utilize the resources available, and see that we can get out there? We shall have a keynote speech from Miss Amy Peterson. Miss Amy Peterson is the Cultural Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Kampala. She should have been here for a very short time now. I think not less than a month. Amy, we welcome you to Uganda and Kampala, and we shall be able to hear from you much later as you share with us what you have in stock for us. And also, we also have Muhumza Faizo King, who is also the current chairperson of the YALI RLC Alumni Chapter of Uganda, and also an entrepreneur. He's one other talented young man I know around. We should also have Ndugu Bidemu Basil Mota. Bidemu Basil Mota is a young entrepreneur, a great leader, and we are proud to have him. And today, he will tell us much more about agriculture and teaching, social entrepreneurship, and sometimes politics, because I know that he's the founder and MD of Agroduka. He will tell us much more about Agroduka and what Agroduka does, and so that then we appreciate what some of these innovations bring around. We shall also have Sandra Nabasirye. Sandra Nabasirye is a professional teacher and a passionate farmer. She says she is sexy from head to tomatoes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you here, and I'm glad and I'm excited already, eagerly waiting to hear from you. It's a very interesting session for me because I have special interests in most of the speakers here, and I cannot wait to listen to all of them because there's a lot that we have to learn here and there, and that's very, very important. What I mentioned is that we have 2 hours of this call, and we also shall see how we can utilize the 2 hours to ensure that each of us can say what they wish to share. And also those of us who are looking forward to learning as much as we can learn, and that should be awesome. At this juncture, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite a volunteer if we have one, but maybe I could just dive straight to it. Let me invite Ndugu Faizo Muhumza to come and give us opening remarks, and also give a small brief about how this day came to be celebrated by the YALI RLC Alumni Chapter of Uganda, and also, of course, appreciate a number of things that maybe a few updates that it wants to bring forward, and so to say, speak on behalf of the chapter, and then we shall dive into the discussion. Ndugu Muhumza, you're most welcome.
Ndugu Alex, can you hear me?
Very well.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a profound pleasure. It's an honor to be part of this discussion. My name is Muhumza Faizo King. I serve as the chapter chairperson for YALI RLC, the alumni chapter of Uganda. I can speak a little about how alumni chapters are created. So when a number of cohorts go to the Regional Leadership Center in Nairobi for East Africa YALI, when you come back home, we are encouraged by the center to create alumni chapters. This is what exactly that we are leading in Uganda, the alumni chapter of Uganda. It has more than 500 members. And it's a pleasure to be working as the team leader, as the chairperson of this group. Maybe for some people who don't know about YALI, I can say something small about it, but allow me, because of my network, to remove my video. So I can say something small about YALI. YALI was launched by President Barack Obama in 2010, calling it the Young African Leaders Initiative. His aim was to enhance young Africans' leadership skills, promote entrepreneurship, and connect young African leaders with one another and with Americans. For me, the most important thing is President Obama's dream to connect young African leaders with one another. That is a very powerful thing. So this helps us to make important partnerships to build the Africa we want. That's what I can say about YALI because of the time. But if you want to join YALI and if you're not a YALI alumna and you want to join YALI, we have a call for Mandela Washington Fellowship. We have calls that keep coming from the YALI Regional Leadership Center of East Africa. And hey, you can also join YALI online through the YALI network. You just go to yali.state.gov, join the network, register yourself, and start doing YALI courses. That will be amazing to have you on the team. Ndugu Alex,
Yes.
When I saw this theme of the International Youth Day,
yeah,
we picked interest as the EXCO, led by our events chairperson, Seriazi Jackson, and his committee. We decided to have events for a whole week. So we started on Sunday, and today is the last day. It has been a great experience. It has been so profound to learn from so many of the young people who are so creative, so innovative. I want to use this opportunity to thank everyone who started with us, who has been following this discussion. And I want to appreciate the organizing committee, YALI RLC with our partner EYIT TV, who is broadcasting the event live on live TV. Franco Bacon once said, young people are fitter to invent than to judge, fitter for execution than for counsel, and more fit for new projects than for settled businesses. So guys, when I look at the panel today, I see young people who are energized to change to change our country. When I looked at it, I got so much excited. Sandra Nabasirie, a farmer, she calls herself Sile Farmer on Twitter. I follow her, though I have never met her, but she's an amazing person doing great work. Basil Mota is a great guy who has been, who's a Queen's Young Leader. He has been in so many international events, and he has done great work with Agroduka. So having Amy Peterson on board is also an interesting one. It means we have the US Embassy on board, and I want to thank Amy Peterson for being part of this discussion. and for representing the embassy. It means a lot to us. We cannot take it for granted. Ndugu Alex, I'll beg to stop here, but maybe before I close, I need to talk about the Youth Day. The Youth Day happens every 12th of August. It's an international day recognized by the United Nations. So the idea is to bring young people on board, because these young people will most certainly help realize the Sustainable Development Goals. You see, youth face challenges, including poverty, conflicts, and unemployment. So youth should be the starting point of solutions that drive society. And I'm happy to be part of the young leaders in Uganda who are doing their best to change their communities. Ndugu Alex and team, I want to welcome everyone who has been on board, and by the powers vested in me, I want to fully open this discussion and kindly request us to start on it. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faizo Muhumuza King. We are yet to discover which kingdom you're from, because very soon we may need to come and reclaim our kingdom. So thank you so much once again. I appreciate your leadership, and thank you so much for putting this together. 5 days now, and we are still counting. And this seems to be the climax of this particular event. And we thank you so much, because we needed this. And maybe to bring us up to speed, we had day one where we looked at how education system can be strengthened to contribute food transformation. It was an amazing session there. Day two, we looked at youth innovations in agriculture and how they can motivate more youth to dive into agribusiness. Day three, we looked at agri-tech, looking at how technology solutions can transform food systems. Day four, we looked at a general discussion on the opportunities available and how youth can take advantage of them. And today we are looking, we are taking a mega view of the whole International Youth Day, looking at empowering transformation, and also looking at how we can get into this, ultimately thinking about transforming food systems and securing food security for our country and the world as a whole. And I cannot thank you guys enough for putting this together and making sure that we come and talk about this, because this is a very important theme, looking at the food security globally being threatened. So we could not have had a better way to celebrate this Youth Day than this. At this particular time, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Ms. Amy Peterson to give us a message on behalf of the embassy, the US Embassy in Kampala. And then after that, we shall dive directly into the discussion and also getting contributions from the young innovators, those who are there and they're doing things. And then we see how we can, we can appreciate and learn as young people how we get out there to transform food systems. Ms. Amy Peterson, you're most welcome.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation, Alex and Faisal. It is a pleasure to meet you all today. You overestimated my time here in Kampala. I have only been here for 1 week. But I am very happy to say that this is my first event speaking with Ugandan youth like yourselves and our alumni. And it is special because part of the reason I decided to come here to Kampala was because I have heard about the great work of youth in Uganda and the YALI alumni in particular. I must admit that I have also heard that the RLC alumni are some of the most active in this community. So it's special that I get to speak with you all first. For those who don't know me, I'm Cultural Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy. So I replaced Carly Van Orman. I don't know if you knew her, but I will work with Peter and others on our team on different educational, cultural, and youth engagement outreach programs on behalf of the U.S. Embassy. And when it comes to the topic of agriculture and food security, which I understand is your theme for today, I am not an expert, but what I wanted to do was share some of the big picture of what the US Embassy here in Uganda is doing when it comes to agriculture, why this is important for our future, and as we talk about International Youth Day, why youth, young people here in Azerbaijan, really hold the future in your hands when it comes to agriculture and all of the different ways that the country of Uganda will continue to develop and move forward. So what I do know is agriculture is essential to Uganda's economy. And this group, the people working in this field, you are paving the way towards a profitable, productive, and sustainable future of the country. The United States recognizes the importance of agriculture and invests more than $50 million a year into agriculture programs and economic growth opportunities here in Uganda. USAID is our largest implementing part of the US government that supports these programs, and that assistance strengthens Uganda's agricultural sector through initiatives that promote productivity, create jobs, increase revenues for farmers and agricultural companies. And we also work to increase investment in Uganda, expanding access to commercial opportunities and new markets, and support Ugandan entrepreneurs, all of which is essential to building that sustainable network for food security. So why does the United States make this investment? To put it simply, we are investing to build a vibrant, prosperous society here in Uganda where every child, woman, and man has the opportunity to achieve their full potential and pursue their dreams. And that is what the youth of Uganda everybody should have those opportunities in front of them. And we do it because it is because it's in our interests, and it's a reflection of our American values. And we recognize that in Uganda, over 80% of the population is under 35. So when we speak about the US investing in Uganda's future, that is investment in Ugandan youth. And we know that economic growth, agriculture, sustainability, food supply are challenges around the world, and that we need to have a vibrant private sector. And so we work with farmers and entrepreneurs to provide them tools to add value to their produce and products and to create jobs. As Ambassador Natalie Brown has said, our work in public health, education, support for civil society, and other programs are investments helping millions of Ugandans lead healthier lives, learn better, earn more, and participate more fully in their. And I'm so heartened to hear about the work that you all are doing as RLC alumni and your colleagues and peers, and the leadership that you are showing in your community in demanding action and identifying solutions for your country's future. There's no limit to what a motivated group of young people can do. And I've seen that firsthand in my work and what I hear about Uganda and work at other places in the world. And we see that you and your peers are the ones that are steering us forward. From food security, food distribution, and the challenges like climate change that are affecting us all and how we look at the future of our agricultural systems, these are monumental issues. The United States recognizes these are global challenges, and they will require global solutions and cooperation. And we need emerging leaders from countries around the world to have a voice in addressing those challenges and coming up with the solutions. And so we see the future of Uganda in your hands, coming up with those solutions. And what we try to do with our programs, both in the public affairs section and across the embassy, is to support you in moving forward. And so I hope that you will continue to look to the United States for these opportunities and partnerships. We, of course, encourage you to look at the regional leadership centers through YALI. Look at applying for the Mandela Washington Fellowship to pursue opportunities for deeper study and knowledge. You should see announcements about the Mandela Washington Fellowship coming on our website soon. You will see announcements for other training programs, and we encourage you to take advantage of online opportunities to build your skills through the RLC, through other resources, so that you can join the network of YALI alumni and participate in future US government activities. And I hope that you join today and for the inspiration that you and your peers continue to provide. I hope I'll get to see the RLC team again sometime soon. Peter will assist us with that. And with that, I will turn it back to you and listen to the conversation and the ideas you're generating.
Thank you so much, Ami. That was so on point and very brief, but very powerful. Thank you so much. Welcome to Uganda. We're so happy to receive you. It's always exciting working with you people, because then you teach us so many things and we are always glad to learn. Thank you. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize a very important legend, Peter Ricky. He's a friend to all of us, and he's always, he's always there for us, and he makes sure that our work becomes easier. I'm happy to always have him around. Thank you so much, Peter, for always making our life easier, and we're happy and we love you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to invite the next speaker, because I want us to run through, then we can have, a Q&A to allow every other person who would like to ask a question, and then, so that we can have them. I know that after 4, some speakers will run away, and we want to hit some of the questions when they are still around, and that should be able to help us a great deal. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite Basil. Basil Mota is a young, great leader, a teacher by profession, I am sure, and also a Christian who has always, shown up whenever there's an opportunity to serve. Not to know why he did not show up. They were looking for people to serve the chapter. We'll explain that much later. But Basil has an innovation called Agroduka, and we want to hear from him about that. Then later on, he can also what he thinks young people can do to ensure that we transform our food systems in Uganda and in the world, so that then we can secure food security. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ndugu Basil Mota, please come on.
Yes, thank you very much, Alex. I think one of our colleagues has unmuted, and
I've
don't know if we can mute them so that.
Yes, I've sorted it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Basil Mota. I'm happy to be with you today on the Youth Day, and it's very great to be a youth, by the way. Today, I'll tell you one thing. The youthful years are the years when you have most energy. The young people, like the people below 15, are looking forward to these years. Those that are past 40 think about these years and they want to get back, but then it's impossible. So these are the years when you have most of the energy and you can use it to better yourself, to better your community, and to better the world. I grew up in a predominantly farming community in Katiti, Maokota, Mpichi, in the central part of Uganda. My mother is a farmer, so I grew up helping her on the farm. So we would grow crops and rear animals so as to get school fees, to get food, to get clothes, and all those basic needs. When I grew up and I came to Kampala, I realized that my mother and several farmers in our community were cheated by exploitative middlemen. These middlemen would buy from them at cheap costs and sell to towns, to market in towns, to businessmen in towns at exorbitant prices, making abnormal profits on the expense of the farmers' hard labor. I decided to start up Agro Duka. Agro is from agriculture, and Duka in Swahili or in Luganda means shop. So more of an agricultural shop. And ours was a solemn obligation to help farmers like my mother, farmers from my community, farmers from Uganda, and farmers later on from around the world to access credible market for their farm produce. Because we realize that these farmers are forced to sell through middlemen because they do not know the prevailing market prices in their region and around their regions. So that is why we decided to start up AgroDuka to help these farmers connect to credible buyers in the market. And this we have been doing since 2017. I am happy to join everybody today on this Youth Day. Happy to hear from you, Alexander, from Ami, from Faisal King, and later from Sandra, who has made tomato business quite lucrative. On this Youth Day, my message to the youth is, I know we will look at the government, we will look at the civil society, we will look at international organizations. But how I wish we had it in mind that the only person that can save the youth is the youth. And the only way we can do this is through work. It's only through work that these other people that we look forward to, whose help we look to get, will come and support us. But we need to work, 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 and work. And when I put out this message, many people will say, well, you're saying we should work, but we are unemployed. You're saying we should start up businesses, but we do not have capital. I call upon you to start wherever you are. Start from whatever thing you have. Just start. When you start, on the way, you'll be able to get help. You'll be able to take lessons. You'll be able to have people come in and support. And before you know it, you will have made an impact in your life, in your community, and in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ndugu Basil Mota, for that brief, important, presentation. But before you go, Mota, a quick one. How best, I would like to hear this again, and I would like to get some more detail from you. How best do you think young people can, yes, I hear you when you say young people should start with what they have and do all that they can to ensure that we get out there. But are there some specific things that you think any young person out there should listen to in order to help them? You having grown from a predominantly farming background and seeing how farmers are, taken advantage of by middlemen, and that being a motivation to start AgroDuka, is there any other thing that you think the young people out there should think about that can help them to, to start up and or do all of those other things? Just briefly.
Yes, thank you very much, Alex. I believe discipline should be paramount. As young people, we get carried away by many things, by our peers, by success. Take an instance, say Basil has got the Queen's Young Leaders Award. Basil has got the Internet Society 25 under 25 award. Basil has got all this. So when you get all of these achievements, it makes you complacent. It makes you think that you have arrived. We need to get rid of the "you have arrived syndrome. We need to stay hungry as young people. We need to know that whereas you have attained all of these things at a young age, it can be a disadvantage to you because you will look at yourself as though you have achieved and you haven't. And this takes away the discipline. A person who would wake up, say, at 5 and start working would wake up at 11 because possibly they got $100,000 grant from I don't know where, maybe Echoing Green or wherever. So it makes them complacent. It makes them indisciplined. And this indiscipline takes them steps backwards. So we need to harness discipline as young people. It also goes back to how we handle our our finances. The discipline should also be in how we handle our finances. How much do you earn? How much do you spend? Do you spend more than you earn? Red flag. Say you are given a grant to help inculcate ideas of how to use technology by farmers in Fiji. Say you're given $20,000 and you decide to buy a car of say $15,000 and invest the $5,000 in what you have said that you will have done. Now this is wrong and it is indiscipline. You might not see it in the short term, but in the long run, you are costing your idea, you are costing your business, and you are costing your image. Because whereas your peers will be happy with you buying a car, the people will not obtain from that you say you're doing. So that goes back to discipline. As young people, we need to harness discipline. Avoid such things that will derail your success. Or if you think that you've reached the success, avoid those things that will take you backwards. Things like alcoholism, things like drug abuse, things like complacence. You do not want to work hard anymore because you feel you have made it. Those things we ought to address as youth if we desire to succeed better. But I'll take you back to where I started, staying hungry. It is important. Whatever you achieve, do not think that you're the best in the world. Well, you will have achieved something at a young age, very good, but stay hungry. Look for those opportunities. The opportunities are there. They are waiting for you. You only need to show up and make sure that the world and these opportunities find you ready for them. Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you so much, Basil. I hear you when you talk about the enormous opportunities available for young people, and that's why I want to ask you my next question. Young people to flourish, they need a very supportive environment for them to, get things out there and do whatever they can. Do you think that the environment available is conducive enough for young people to carry out all those innovations, to ensure that we can transform food systems? You have seen recently when people come up with innovations and we seem not to support so much. What do you think is the status of the environment in which the young people are supposed to innovate and carry out those things, especially in our country, Uganda? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Alex. Definitely the environment in Uganda is very wanting, mostly for the young people. We're living in a country where the Minister for Youth is not a youth. So it sends a wrong message. But still, we are living in a country where you open up a business today and URA needs taxes the next day. They do not care whether you're a young business. They don't want to give you any tax holidays or what have you. We live in a business where our fellow youth, we live in a world or in a country where our fellow youth find it easy to share a meme on their status, on their social media, and they find it hard to share about a business of their peer. Take for instance, YALI has about 500 alumni, over 500 alumni. If these 500 alumni would come together to support each other's business, this does not have to be in terms of monetary funds. This could be, say, follow Agroduka on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. It could be telling your brother or sister or mother to purchase from Agroduka, telling a farmer about Agroduka. It is these small things that build bigger businesses, and we do not have to look away from them. But the situation we are in is still wanting. But I want to borrow the words of one of the American presidents in his inauguration. He said, "Ask not what the government can do for you, but ask what together we can do to make America great." So I want to reiterate and change the words a little to my fellow young men and women. Ask not what the government, what UN, what other people can do for you, but ask yourself what together we can do to make ourselves better, to make our communities better, to make the world better. For example, let's face it, if YALI has 500, over 500 alumni, that is huge market, huge market. These people buy foodstuff. Possibly they would buy foodstuff from Agroduka. These people need IT services. Possibly they would seek the services of Mr. Muhumuza Faizo. These people probably have schools or they have conferences where they need financial literacy. And Alexander Chokujuka has put himself out there as one of the financial literacy gurus in Uganda. So we need to tap in the opportunities that we have. Before we look outside, we need to look inside and see which opportunities can we avail ourselves. How can we make ourselves better? How can we support each other? Because it's only through supporting each other that we can move milestones and make a positive impact in the community. However, I call upon the government to support young people, bring fellowships, bring grants that help these young people, give them tax exemptions. Recently, they introduced a tax on internet. They moved it from over-the-top taxes from social media to internet. But the young people use the internet. Internet in this century is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. It is something that we cannot do without. People study on the internet. People order things online. People get opportunities on the internet. How I wish the government, instead of taxing the internet, would make it more affordable for the people, would make sure that the connectivity reaches to people, like from where I come from in Maokot, from where Alexander comes from in Chigarama, so that these people can tap into these opportunities. What we are asking for as a youth, as a generation, the now generation, is not much. It is only these small things that we need to make ourselves better, because we already have brilliant minds that have brilliant ideas, but these ideas are suffocated because there is no support from the government, and it is very worrying. How I wish the government comes out to support these brilliant men and women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Basil Mota, and that's very, very important. You raise very, very important points. The tax burden on young people trying to start out, the cost of starting a business in Uganda, I agree entirely. The cost of internet amidst this pandemic that we have, where everything is virtual. Much earlier, I had a discussion and on some home forum, and people were saying, you have killed us with Zoom. Zoom is very expensive and all that. You raised a very important point of over 500 alumni in the chapter and what this can do, coming together and all that. You talked about supporting each other, making the internet affordable for the young people by the government and other stakeholders. Thank you so much, Basil. Muhumuza Faizo, if you're still on, I would like to bring this point to you. Over 500 young African leaders having been supported to undergo training in leadership, business management, all of those things. And the US government has invested in a lot of money to ensure that we get this training. And after the training, how, as a chapter, are you planning to make sure that over the over 500 alumni can come together and, into something more sensible, something more, cooperate towards maybe making, much more transformation out there? I know, being the immediate past chairman for the chapter, there are certain things I am privy to some information. Ultimately, I would want you to, bring it out, because in your capacity as chairperson, sitting chairperson of the chapter, what is it that as a chapter we have in plan to ensure that we leverage on this number of 500 trained young change makers to ensure that we create, impact, in Uganda? Over to you, Ndugu Faizo Muhumuza.
Yes, Ndugu Alex, thank you so much for the question and for the opportunity. Yes, as the alumni chapter of Uganda, especially the executive committee, we have put all our energy on building bridges. And by building bridges, we mean bringing every alumni on board. We have so many alumni who are so busy, taken up by their personal projects, and we have others who are quite demotivated because of the issues our friend Basil has been raising. Sometimes we get complacent. Sometimes we feel it's too much on our head. Sometimes we feel we are not as gifted, we are not lucky. I mean, the challenges of youth are very many, and these stretch to poverty, to unemployment, to loss of loved ones, and so much more. But as the alumni chapter, we have decided to strengthen the building of regional hubs. Regional hubs, we mean having regions in Uganda from the Western region, the West Nile region, Eastern region, Northern region, Central region, and Western region. We have taken a deliberate move to build these regions under sub-leadership executives of the National Executive Committee. So we have taken up a task of getting leaders for each region, and we have leaders from the Northern region down to the Western region, having a chairperson, a participant engagement committee chairperson, a communication head, a resource mobilization person, and these are what we want to concentrate on in the next coming months and years, to build a YALI that works, to build a YALI that serves on the ground, and to motivate fellow YALI alumni as we touch the community and the society we live in all our local communities. Because I'm one person who believes that change must be local, and important change should come from young people at the local level, because they are the people who actually experience all the hardness, all the problems, and all the challenges. Mr. Alex, I hope I hope I've driven my point home. But I also want to say that, yeah, we are keeping our doors open for innovation, for advice, for creativity, for partnerships. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faisal Muhumza. Yes, strengthening regional clusters to make sure that the chapter is not at national level, but we go down to the local communities to get the alumni there and ensure that we get to work and transform power transformation. Faisal, before you go, I would like you to make a comment on the environment under which young people are doing things. There's the cost of starting business, the cost of starting initiatives, the government enabling tools towards young people and all those. Please make a brief comment about that before I can bring in the next speaker.
Yes, I'll say that the environment we're in is one of the hardest, but also one of the easiest. Because if you realize in our country, it's very easy to start a business wherever you are and serve even without things like copyright, even without ISO standard certificates. Even so, we are a growing country, and you don't expect to have a perfect government system. Although we must keep challenging governments when they have not built enough the necessary environment for young people to thrive. But yeah, we are running a very hard country in terms of giving opportunity to young people. But I still think that it's very, very possible for a young person to thrive in Uganda by going into fields that are very, very important. Fields like agriculture. There's a lot of good business in agriculture. Going in fields like technology and trying to be innovators, trying to be creative. We must not accept this fourth industrial revolution to go without us making a case, without us enjoying it and thriving on it. Just, I think 2 years ago, I attended a conference at the Kampala Serena Hotel where President Madabio was the guest speaker, President Madabio of Solarion. His argument was, if young people in Africa let this fourth industrial revolution go, Africa will never rise back, will never come back of poverty. Africa will never change, because this is the main opportunity we have. We have an opportunity where if you start a good technology solution, you can make billions of dollars, employ hundreds of thousands, and earn a lot of money. So yeah, other fields are quite many, and also being serious about registering organizations. Most young people don't want to register their companies, but who wants to deal with you if you're not registered? Go look for consultants, make registrations, and have the necessary certificates, especially if you want to deal with, for example, government. They will expect you to have a PPDA certificate. It's not too expensive to get a PPDA certificate. It's not as expensive as going to the beach. So kindly, young people should come up and embrace that, yeah, we are in a technological changing world, a very competitive, one of the most competitive generation in history, especially in the history of Uganda. So a lot is at stake, and we can only do our best to thrive. Thank you so much, Mr. Chukwuka.
Thank you so much, Faisal. That was very powerful, and we thank you also for sharing this, because we don't take it for granted. And I want to encourage you and your team continue, reaching out to us so that we see what we can, do together as a team, as a network, because that is very important and only more important for the country. I want to believe that Sandra now.
Unfortunately, sir, my battery is running so low, and
okay.
Good place. So anytime if I give, kindly forgive me. Thank you.
Understandable, understandable. Thank you. So thank you so much. I want to believe that Sandra Navasidia is already on the call. Are you? Sandra, are you there? Okay,
Hi.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Alex. Finally. Yeah, finally. Hello.
I wanted to.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So I wanted to be sure that you're on the call before I can introduce you.
Oh, yes, I am. Okay.
Just on the call. Sandra, you went to have the education to become a teacher, and then after learning how to teach, you decided to go and teach tomatoes in the garden. I also know that when I was president of the College of Education and External Studies at Makerere, I handed over to you. And now I take the pleasure to introduce you to the YALI network. Also to request you to share with us how you are able to make money from tomatoes, and also are able to take tomatoes, something. So please, to share with the
okay.
We are excited to have you. You're most welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. First, allow me apologize for joining in. I've been running up and down. Yeah, and there is crazy jam in town. You know, it's tomorrow night deliveries for tomatoes and other vegetables. And I thought I would be home by 2. Yeah. And of course, as a teacher, we have to keep time. But I'm really sorry. I'm pretty sorry that I joined in late. Then another thing also, when I go here, network issues, connecting, you know, villagers. I'm in the village. So I had to climb up on the tree to get stable network.
You should get stable
network. Actually, even now I'm out.
You should come and I give you a slot in an improved village in Chigarama.
I will come. So I think here I'm stable and you can hear me. Yeah. Actually, I'm in the garden, yes. So good evening, everyone. And my name is Sandra, like Mr. Chokujuk has introduced me. Sandra Navasidia. I'm a teacher by training. I'm also a passionate farmer. Yeah. So why I left education, people always ask me, oh, why did you leave teaching? Why aren't you in school? Well, I still teach, though now in the garden, not in the classroom. Yeah, I'm still a teacher. I still consider myself as a teacher. More of a trainer, yes. I do practical trainings at the farm. How I always love sharing a story, especially when I'm on such platforms where more young people are in and rather are on listening, just to inspire them. It wasn't long ago, just a few years ago, like 3 years, when I decided to join farming. Did you? Oh, guys, am I on? Okay. You forgive my village is about in the village and this network. So anyway,
it's okay.
Yeah, so when I started, it was I got the idea in 2018. At some time, it's very well money. They were advertised for the Vest Money Expo of 2019. I kept that newspaper up to date. A friend had actually visited me just to check on me and my family. Then I saw the newspaper. The lady was doing tomatoes, very nice tomatoes. Just myself, if this lady who is 50 years, me, I'm not even yet 30 years, if she's doing tomatoes agriculture, why can't I join? Then of course I kept looking, rather making research, asking here and there, or what does it take to grow tomatoes? I really want to grow tomatoes. Then I also happened to give birth to a child who had birth defects, and I had to decide whether to continue with either teaching or doing business or stay at home to take care of her. So I made that decision to stay at home, but not just be at home as a housewife or just a sit-home mom. I wanted to do something. And I looked around my house and there was available space, my place where I stay, my home. So I always tell young people that when you want to start something, especially agriculture, don't wait for you to own so many things. I share this story just to inspire people to know that when you're starting something, and nothing should limit you, not even land, not even people's idea, not even anything, yeah? Your own limitation, yeah. So me, I had to ask myself. Of course, I had other challenges that were going on in my life, and I decided to join agriculture. So, and my first customers, what I thought at that time, were my neighbors, because where I stay is a semi-urban area, surrounded by houses, about 10 houses. So like if I grow tomatoes, who is going to eat my tomatoes? And I got that idea before I actually started growing tomatoes. Rather, I knew the market. So these are lessons that someone should pick from what I'm saying, when you're trying to engage in agriculture. Don't just plant something and then say, oh, I'll look for the market when my produce is ready. No, you need to have an idea of where you're going to sell from the word go. So me, I knew my clients were going to be my neighbors. But the garden is big, about an acre. Of course, I couldn't consume all the tomatoes from the 1 acre. So what I had to do, I had to look for market around the Bingo area, then also did research. I asked a few people, not very many. There was a lot of negativity around me. Oh, you're not going to do it. Why are you abandoning this? Why are you choosing to do agriculture? I mean, you're a teacher, from relatives, from friends. But I made a decision. I was like, who doesn't eat food? Yeah, everybody eats food. So I'm going for tomatoes. My background, I studied education, arts with education, not even sciences. So I had no knowledge about plants basically. But because of the love that I developed later, I learned, I got exposure, and then I started. At my first harvest, I always tell people that I made money here. I think I invested about 2M, my very first garden, and I got about 6M. Like in just a period of 3 months. I was like, what? There is money in this thing. And that's because I really put in a lot in terms of time, commitment, energy, and the love. For agriculture, it's very easy to start. Everybody, probably most of you are on the platform have tried agriculture here and there. And some have succeeded, some have not. Why? Because of me always tell people that it's something extra that you have to do, because everybody does agriculture, always say tomatoes. But what's that one thing that's going to make you stand out? Yeah. So me, I really put in an effort. I used to wake up like early in the morning, then sleep late in the night, because that was my business. I was like, if I fail at this, then I'm going back to school to teach. And at that time, I wasn't so ready to go back to classroom to teach as a teacher, because I do want to leave my kid at home. So I was like, no, I really need to give it my best. I gave it 100%, and I really achieved. Yeah. So there's so many myths around agriculture, or this, that, and the other, or things don't work. But what are you doing? Like, what's that extra thing that you're doing that is going to make you stand out? So then the sexy. Now I'm just responding to the questions you asked. I don't know whether I'm really fast but then you also talk about the sexy from the head of my toes, or slave farming. That time I think I got it. It's my brother Alan Tagubi had visited me, I remember, at my farm. And that time I used to take pictures on social media. And so there's a lot of negativity. Most young people spend time on social media doing nothing, sorry to say, like going through feeds, like you really, maybe now things have changed now that we've been having lockdown. But before, like 2018, 2019, really nothing productive. Yeah. So at that time I was even a bit scared, or how will society perceive this? How will they even perceive this? But I took pictures and used to save them in my gallery. So when Alan visited me, I told him, let me pose in my garden and take pictures. So asked me, hey, you're posing like slave queens. Yeah, you're posing like slave queens. I was like, no, I'm not a slave queen. I'm a slave farmer. So said, so that's when the name slave farmer comes about, when I was with my brother in my garden. So then I was like, girls are known for slaying, with nice wigs, nice heels, dresses, nice bodies, and all those things that are nice. I mean, I have them all, but I was broke. I didn't have money. So it doesn't really make sense you slaying or looking beautiful with an empty pocket. So I was like, I need to change this, agriculture is about mindset change. Yeah, something what is the same thing, like it's still agriculture, but what's that? How are we going to make it in a bit attractive, a bit modernized, a bit so with education, it has to be creative as teachers. So I just thought about coming up with something creative, something that is relatable, something that young people are going to look at on social media, and say, oh, so Sandra is doing this, or Sandra is slaying, instead of like slaying on the streets. I mean, be in your garden, slay, at the end of 3 months or 4 months, you're going to earn your money, you get. So that's how the slay farmer came about.
That's good.
And I was really actually just to show them, just to portray that this is really something that you can do, and you get money. So that is it about how I started, and also the name.
Yeah.
Back
Thank
to
you
you,
so
Alex.
much.
Yeah.
Yes. So I picked interest. You see, being a business development consultant that I am, I also did like you. I learned how to teach, and then I ran away to start consulting and make money. I am very interested in the figures, because business is about the figures, and especially when you mention starting with 2 million and then getting 6 million, that straight away tells me you made a profit of millions. That's exciting.
Yes.
Now, my biggest question now I want you to share with us is that what are some of the challenges that you met starting out, and even in this journey of 3 months that you got a profit of 4 million? Some of the key challenges that young people should look look forward to.
Okay. Thank you. Now, challenge number 1 was the negative energy. Negative energy. Most young people have failed to do something or try because of, oh, you can't do it, oh, you won't do it, oh, so and so did it and they failed. Oh, like that negative energy. It was a challenge, but me, I overcame it. Because I'll give you a challenge and also how I overcame. Me, I didn't pay attention to anything that was negative. That's why even I wasn't posting on social media until I started investing. Because people are going to distract you, telling you this, telling you that, and then you lose track. If you're not focused. So the first challenge was negative. Oh, you're not going to make it. Oh, you think, even for the good tomatoes, they failed. Even my dad, there will be all these voices. So if you're not a focused person, you're going to lose it. And then challenge number 2 was because I didn't know. Yes, I didn't have a plan of, when you invest this, how much are you getting out? Me, I was investing sparingly because I had little money. All I had was myself, and the zeal to start. So another challenge I faced was intimidation. Of course, I faced that a lot when I went to the market. I'm a woman. Are you really the one who's growing tomatoes? You find that even the price they're giving you, they're despising you. So I've got that so much, with the men. They used to tease me a lot. I'm short, I'm small, and I'm a woman. I'm a young woman. Like, oh, you're not. It's maybe you're lying to us. Like, prove to them, Banang and Zali, it's my garden. Please come, ask the chairperson. So that's a challenge that most young farmers or female farmers face. Teasing and also even the pricing. Then another challenge was also the labor. I didn't have enough labor because I didn't have money. I didn't have the money, and I didn't have enough money to hire. So I said, I think with only 2, my housemate and also one guy to help in the farm. That meant that I had to work extra hard. I had to get involved myself to see that I cover up. So it was also a challenge. You find that most young people, yes, they could having money to start, but then talk about hiring labor, hiring this, those are all limitations. So it's also a challenge. But then with proper planning, you plan well your funds, how you're going to spend it. Now with time I got to learn how to play around with my money. Then also, of course, water. The land was there. I didn't even have a water source. I only had the tank, about 5,000 liters. Like, this is enough for me to start. So I didn't really plan well. And it was a dry season. My tomatoes really needed water. I didn't have the money to buy an irrigation system. Of course, right now I can afford it. I even afforded it. I have it at the farm. Like, I've learned to grow. But the challenges are there. But I want to focus on also the good things. Change to stop it, because none of those things stopped me to achieve.
Exactly.
So of course I didn't. So I used the Mica 5,000 liter drum to irrigate my garden. And how were we even irrigating? Carrying jerrycans. We used to carry 8 jerrycans, 40 in the morning, 40 in the evening. You understand? So the challenge, those are the main challenges I faced as I was starting. But hey, you're laughing. So people see that this successful story, like there was really a lot that we did that I did personally, yeah, so that people loved my story and also loved the harvest that I really got out of it. So that was with. If it was another person, they'll say, "Oh no, there's not. I can't carry the jerry cans." Me, I was like, "No, I don't have a negation system. I'm ready to do agriculture. My plants already in the garden. I'm not giving up." So what's the solution? Use what I have. So I used what was available, and that's were the jerry cans. So I used to carry my 40-liter jerry cans with my, of course, with my maid and also my farm worker in the morning and also in the evening. So somehow with the challenges, I also found out I found a solution to how to overcome them. Yeah, of course, the other challenges that have come along the way, those ones we can discuss and can take the whole day. But the most important thing is you having a positive attitude and also stay focused, know what you want. Yeah. Yeah. When you know that, at least you can, you can overcome some of these things.
Okay. Thank you so much. And now I want to ask you one other question. Of course, you mentioned the challenges and how you overcame them and all of that. I would like to know, Shwari, from you, what is the biggest opportunity that there is in the agriculture sector for young people, especially young ladies who would like to slay, but also slay in the garden? Because now you understand the sector. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So can I come in now? Sorry, I interrupted.
Please. Yes, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Now, thank you, Alex. Now, maybe I forget, let me mention this. Most people think when you talk about agriculture, it's just about production. Like the opportunities, you can't even exhaust all of them, yeah? There are very many. People think when you talk about agriculture, it's them going to the garden, get the hose, start digging, cultivating. No. We're talking about processing, we're talking about agrotourism. Like it's really a lot, yeah? Because me right now, I mean, there's also the mentorship, the training for the young women. Though it's also very that at least you get to know me. I mean, it's better that you start from somewhere. Me, I started as a producer. Right now, I'm a producer, yes, but I'm also, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. I sell, rather I also sell what I grow. Follow me on my social media platforms. Like it doesn't stop at me producing and then someone else comes and dictates the price for me. No, I know the market, I know my consumers. Those are the people like I sell, I grow. What discourages most people from engaging in agriculture is, of course, middlemen, the prices, where will I sell, how will I even sell, like they grow their produce and then they wait for someone to come and take their produce from them. Me, what I do, it's also choosing to be different. Yeah, don't be like Sandra. You strive to be better than Sandra, or maybe I'm doing it, go plenty or even better than me. Yeah. So me, what I do, I don't stop. I just start producing from the farm. Of course, that's how I started. But now I've grown in my business. I know that this is not just something that I'm growing, rather something I'm doing for fun. It's a business. Treat it as a business. Therefore, plant your tomatoes or your vegetables or your whatever you're planting, then sell to the end user. So the opportunities are there. Then if you're not into production, then there is also marketing, marketing agricultural produce. There's also mentorship. There's also there is really a lot they can engage in. So I would encourage them to start from somewhere because there is really money. Like people eat every day. Like you might not really grow tomatoes, but either matoke or sweet potato, any crop that you choose to grow, or even just simple vegetables for the backyard garden. Yeah. People think, I'll wait to get a piece of land, or let me wait, I retire, or maybe no. Start from where you are. Yeah, even if you're in town, you can even grow a few plants like 20, as long as there is some money that is coming in, like on a daily basis. That daily income, it really means a lot because now things have changed. Yeah, so like things have changed. Yeah, and that one thing that is not going to change is people consuming food. That one you should know. Like it will never change. So there is space for everyone. Yeah, just join the sector, but do it right. Yeah, know what you're going to grow, how you're going to grow it, where you're going to sell it, how you're going to sell it. Yeah, so listen, just for the sake of growing, there's a lot that you have to learn, and then see how to succeed at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sandra. That is very, very powerful, and we thank you
welcome
for getting the time. One last question before
thank you.
Because I can already sense that you want to run away.
I really want to run. I want to start packing.
I know. When we are talking about transforming food systems, especially on such a day, on International Youth Day, the YALI RLC alumni chapter of Uganda has over 500 young people who have, been trained in leadership, especially from Nairobi, and also another section of Mandela Washington Fellowship, a number of them, and the YALI network as well. on such a day when you talk about transforming food systems, do you really think, are you hopeful that because one of the biggest challenges you said is mindset. The mindset is the wrong one. Most of us have that wrong mindset, and it is what stops us from, getting there. Do you really think that we can actually work on this mindset, and we can, for instance, have all these 500 leaders having been trained, and the US government having invested in a lot of money training them? Do you really think that we can actually get them involved in agriculture, and we can reach that dream of securing the food security, the food systems for the future of Africa and the world?
Okay. You are breaking, but I think I picked a few. There's some questions that I didn't. Yeah. So now, I'll say it's achieving, but all those leaders, kind of don't know what is really going on ground, if I may put it that way, for lack of a better word, and also they don't involve the actual people doing the work, because we're talking about all the challenges that youth face in agriculture, or why are youth shining away from agriculture, or they don't really get down to involve the actual youth, because we have very many youth doing agriculture. Some are in dairy, some are in all that. They don't really they don't really involve them, to get to know. And also young people relate with fellow young people. I've witnessed that, when I put up a post, or when I put up maybe what I do, people have been inspired. If I can mention that, been inspired, and then they've come here for training. Or some they want to do what you're doing, because they feel, okay, some is our age mate, probably some are even slightly older than me, some are even younger than me. Okay, if she can achieve it, then I can also achieve it. So what the leaders have to do is to involve the youth who are actually doing this, Then also, because we'd relate easily, you get, if I see Alex, we are almost, okay, we're not really age mates, but I mean, we are age mates.
No,
I will listen to you. And I'm 29, so we are
yes. Almost, yes, it's okay.
We are close. So the whole the point I'm making, the point I'm making, Alex, is I will listen to you. I'll feel that what you're telling me, what you're doing can really work, and it's even achievable. But the problem with our leaders, they'll try to put people about, they're really older than us. Maybe the things they used to do, they were for 1990, they still tell us, oh, we are going to give you hose. The world has, changed. We need new innovations. We need the irrigation system. They're still encouraging us, oh, wait for the rain. The rains are here. Start seeding. So we really can't be working like in the 1990s or in the Stone Age period. So I would really want, or maybe what I would really want to see is them, kind of introducing these reforms in agriculture. Let's embrace the new innovations, because young people relate so much with these things. I mean, it's a .com era, where we, rather a digital era, .com, where we want things that are a bit different. So with that, if they're a bit attractive and a bit good, then people will be, and also involving fellow young people who are doing what we're advocating for, it will make a lot of sense, and people will be they will join us in the sector. So that's what that's what I can say about that.
Thank you so much. As I let you go, someone is asking what would be the estimated input for half an acre for a starter. Someone who is interested is asking estimated input for half an acre.
Okay. Now I'll tell him or her. The first input is your mind, is your mind, because we've seen people with money, huge or small, they feel that the project, it's then also yours, other things, but not so much. But when you go into the monetary, it need about 2 million.
2 million.
Because it's less money or different money, and then you buy the seeds and you be disappointed. There's a lot that goes with the commitment, the on what how you're going to process, and you don't lose the money. You find that with the
Okay, I think you're breaking. But thank you so much. She says 2 million should be good to go, and I don't know whether we can get her back because the connection seems to be losing a bit, and is losing at a time when we actually were enjoying the conversation. But let me see whether we can get her back, and that should be able to help us a great deal. And you mentioned, someone mentions, how do you market your tomatoes? And I may answer this. She markets using social media, and basically that's a major, advertising, avenue. And also, someone wants to get her social media handles. I'm going to ask her to request her to do that and share, so that then we know we can, whenever we want her, we can get to her using her social media. Thank you so much, Sandra. I hope she gets back on the call, and then we can finish this. She did something to do with planning and a few other things, and managing money and all of that. On this call, there is a legend, an alumnus that we all have, found here and all of that. Moses Obi, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. I want to disturb you. I know you did not expect me to ask you to speak, but due to public demand, I would like to request you to share what you think, your thoughts on three things: your thoughts on the environment young people are operating in, your thoughts on what young people can do better to champion food security and transforming food systems, and also your take on the best practices that young people can, take on to build businesses. Please, over to you. Feel free to first introduce yourself, then take the stage. You have about 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Alex. That was an ambush, though I'm always ready. I will answer the questions.
Sure, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and those who really made it. Thanks for sparing your time. And I liked the new cultural affairs officer. She sounded so good. First time seeing her, and I'm thinking we're going to have a very lovely lady in that office.
Yeah.
The current executive, I think, will really make a lot out of with her. So Alex, back to your question about environment in which the youth are working in. I'm Moses Sobi, cohort 2, former chairperson. I do graphics and design, business consulting. I consult in business growth, startup, and I also do value addition to agricultural products.
Moses, do you mind switching your video? For the people watching EYIT TV, they would want to see your face.
No, I am using a gadget that does not have a good camera. You won't be able to see things well.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't plan to present, so I just picked any device near me.
Sure, no problem.
So what I do in agriculture, I brand for those who are in agriculture, those who process and pack. I also do chocolates. I also pack rice. So those are the items I do in the area of agriculture, besides my graphic design and printing and IT business. The environment in which we are working, for the young people, it is quite challenging. First of all, our environment has not yet taken on the IT sector. Very few people are utilizing social media for business. The fact that government itself closed down Facebook. Facebook is the most used social media tool that the youth would really engage in and freely interact and market their products. It is something you look up, go and check if somebody has a product. That restriction, I don't think, is really good, and it's not favorable for people doing agriculture and utilizing social media as marketing. So if government could rethink their stand on this, I don't understand why the president felt it would not be okay to have Facebook. If we are considering social media as a tool to use to market agriculture, Instagram wouldn't be a good thing. I don't think everybody is on Instagram, but most people were on Facebook. That I know has hit a toll on very many agro business entrepreneurs. For what to do better currently, like Angela said, everybody starts from somewhere. You don't need a lot really to start. What Angela talked about, starting with 2 million, she's lucky actually she had the 2 million. And she didn't talk about how she got that land. That's one other thing I would have liked to ask. 1 acre in Kampala. Is she in Kampala? Did she say she was in Kampala?
Yes, in a bingo. She stays in a bingo.
Bingo.
That's that land was yeah, at home.
Okay,
that's where home is. Yeah,
it's okay. Probably it was for the husband. Now that shows that we need to have networks that can help us get things to utilize, resources to use. If you have a father with idle land, if your husband or wife has idle land, if your neighbor has land they're not utilizing, you could utilize that. We start with connections that you have, the people you know, the unutilized resources that are available. If Angela got land, you could probably come to Aeroprint and get free designs of packaging. We always do that for all alumni. You could get free designs of logos. You could go to Joel Ankunda and get subsidized incorporation registration, company registration, very cheaply. He's doing that for a lot of alumni. People just need to know who in the network is doing which service that they can take advantage of at a more subsidized rate. The alumni are helping each other, and very many are willing to offer that help, but very few are coming up to seek for that help. Probably FISO and the executive, if you're listening in, this is what you should start championing. Looking out for people who have what to offer and advertising what they can do to everyone, for everyone, at a more subsidized rate, offering a chapter subsidized price. So for the best practices, you give me only 5 minutes, they're not enough. I will mention probably number one is self-discipline. We do not understand what discipline is. First of all, financial. What is it that we spend on? Why in the first place do we get into business? Why do we get into agriculture? What is always the end game? You all did 7 habits of highly effective people, but I see very few people practicing those 7 habits. Most people do not have the end in mind when they start something. And along the way, majority do not seek to understand others. First, understand who your clients are before you think they would understand you. How are the competitors doing it? What are the financial controls you're going to put in place? If you don't understand those, then reach out to Alex and ask him for some financial control consultancy gig at a subsidized rate. I believe, Alex, you can offer this at a maybe you could lend people these practices, and when they harvest,
even free of charge.
Free of charge, that's even better. So you come to Aeroprint for free designs. We're doing this for very many alumni. They're not paying. People just walk in and say, hey, you offered this, you promised to do this. And then we said, fine, for now we're a bit busy, but give us 3 days. You'll have it on your email. And they have their logo, they have their package design. The only thing they pay for is printing, probably all the packaging material. We have people who are doing websites that can help you have co-shared space and you have your product up and running. So utilize the networks you have. This is what is building fellow alumni to become better than the rest who still feel others have gone ahead of them. That's all, Alex.
Thank you so much, Moses. It's amazing. We always ambush you and you're always ready to deliver. Thank you. May God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running short of time, but I would like to open this to the audience and so that I can call all the other participants who have what to say, maybe any question to ask. But also, as you come on, you ask your name, which cohort you are, and what you think about, any question or any supplement. But also, part of what you will say, please tell us what you think. How might we make the environment more friendly for young people to do what they do if we are to be able to transform, our food systems? It is clear there are challenges, but also what seems to be cutting across is the environment we are operating in is not free. So how might we, as alumni, how might young people make the environment more friendly for us to be able to do all we do to transform food systems? Over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to raise your hand and then unmute yourself and ask your question, and we get out of here. Anyone who would like to go first? Yes, Rukundo Benjamin, please go right ahead and mute yourself, switch on your video, introduce yourself and mention your question or supplement. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I would like to first of all begin by appreciating this kind of session that has been set ahead of us on this very Youth International Day celebration. Mine is just a supplement. Alexander, I think you've said it all, and also that testimony that we've had from that lady.
Yeah,
I think has been a very nice one. So mine is just a supplement. I think as the youth, the best way we can get a very good environment, working environment in the area of business is first of all to build the heart of being resilient, and then also to think along these lines, to think along the lines of adaptation. Because if our focus can be on how much we need to put in order to overcome the challenges that we face as the youth in competition of business, because we are always doing business with those that are ahead of us in terms of age and in terms of money. So the only thing I think we always have as our added advantage, or that sets the competition ahead of us, could be the skill, I think. So I think it's high time as the youth we adapt to we get used to facing challenges more than otherwise really in business. Because personally, I'm self-employed after electronics and stationery, but I'm very happy that at least life is so far very smooth. I'm also 4 years down the road, but there's a very big impact. Thank you very much for at least this chance.
Thank you so much. So, Mukundo Benjamin, thank you so much for that very important contribution. You mentioned that we should learn to adapt to the environment and also see. I don't see any hand. And Benjamin, you mentioned a very important aspect of us, looking for the skills that we don't have, so that we can add on our package, the skill packages, and then that should be able to be good to go. Any other question, supplement, or contribution?
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Thank you guys for the contribution. This is Eddie Semakula from Excel Hot, Agribusiness Incubator and Consult. I wanted to add to that I think one of the major things we need to that I'm curious about the progress we are doing there is market identification. I know there is a lot of food moving east and west, if not from east and west to east. But I'm curious whether we have done much in identifying markets for our young people and being very specific there. I know one of the panelists said that people will always eat. That's such a motivator across the country. So I'm just curious on how much we have done in terms of identifying markets in a corporate sense for those who are already embarked. Because I think that, how do we zero down to those people? It's a question and a comment at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Eddie. Unfortunately, we seem to have the two panelists are already left. Ndugu Basil Mota left, and also Sandra seems to have left. But very important, I think that could be a very important take home. You mentioned that we need to identify the market. How do we identify those who want, for instance, to eat our tomatoes? If we're packaging them in some way, how do we identify the people to eat them? That's very, very important, I think, for everyone here. That could be a very important take home. And now, any other comment, contribution, supplement? Do we have Charles Maseleka on this call? Charles, are you there? Okay. Okay, if you're not there, I would want to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for spending time to be on this call, and thank you so much to our panelists for making it come through. And then we have this very, very important session. I have enjoyed it. I have learned so much, even those things that I thought I knew, I want to believe that we can always have this, and also even when it is not International Youth Day, so that we can keep sharing information. Knowledge transfer is important and it is key, so that then we can get to learn much more and be much better. At this point in time, I would like to invite any member of the EXCO who is still available. If you can come and give us closing remarks and maybe a vote of thanks, then we could call it a day. I want to believe that Jack should be still on the call, and in your capacity as events and networking chair, please come and give us closing remarks, vote of thanks, and then let's have call closed. Over to you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Alex. It has been great to have you as our moderator. And thanks for the alumni and the EXCO, for really supporting us in this. It has not been an easy journey, having events running for 5 days a week, it has been very, very, very hectic, but we've brought it to the light. YALI, I joined YALI last year. I'm cohort 41, and I'm soon learning. I'm soon getting to know more of the guys like Mr. Moses Obi, Mr. Boniface Bangenyinge, Lona Charity, one of my great panelists yesterday, Mr. Charles Maselika, there is Mr. Gerard, Arrays Interface, all those guys the week has been very, very, very great. Very, very great. From day one, we've been learning and learning and learning a lot. It has been very interesting, very interactive and impactful. I believe such kind of events, because they are going public, we are going live on Facebook and YouTube via ATV and via Uganda, YALI Ugandan Alumni Chapter page, and the public is seeing, the public is watching us, and I know through these events, we are going to impact and change someone's life. Someone's mind is going to be diverse to agriculture, and we are good to go. I would like to thank my colleagues in EXCO, Mr. Faizo Momuza, Sarah Wembavazi, Jenny Ndibalekela Semakula, Bruno Namisi for the support. Actually, Sarah is the one who hosting us now. And I would also like to thank my events and networking committee, Ronald of ATV, there's Lona Charity, there's Joan Mugawa, there's Agri Alimbisiwe, those have been great guys, from the one ideating this event, making Zoom meetings and all that, for all the efforts, till I reached you, Mr. Alex, it has been very, very, very great. So I promised the alumni we are to have more of these events, physical and virtual, so let's impact, let's spread the YALI visibility, let's change someone's life through YALI. That's what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack, and thank you so much, you and your team, for putting this together, and to everyone, thank you so much for making through Sam Babazi, EYIT, Moses Obi, Adam Sentumbwe, Boniface Bongonyige, Charles Maseleka, Diana Wino, Semakula, Ernest Duarte, Gladys Buteraba, Lona Charity, Nabudua, Caroline, Okelo, Robin, Ukemin, Jafal, Salma, Zake, Paul, Angela, and everyone. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for making time to be part of this. We cannot thank you enough. You are the generation, we are the generation that will change this nation, that will change this world, and we're already doing it. And the best way to continue to continue this is to keep up whatever we are doing. And from me, greetings from Chigarama. It's been a pleasure moderating this session with you guys, and I wish you the very best. We have this closed. Over to you, the managers of the after party. Jobless.